the idea of just kind of getting out of the way and letting something happen has been another thing that stayed with me. And, you know, the most recent one was working with Clint Eastwood on a film, and
Called
American Sniper.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So like I had gone and just done a little tape, and they're like, you know, you're gonna get it. It seems like you're gonna get it. We waited and waited, and finally came down. And I basically just had this one day of work as Bradley Cooper's drill instructor. And I showed up on set, and there's a guy who had worked with Clint before, and I knew that he had a reputation of working with people before. And he said, you know, Clint is the kind of guy that he's not going to direct you. He's not going to tell you what to do. He's seen your tape. He knows what you can do. He knows you're capable, and you're just going to do that. And I was like, okay. And so, like, the big part of my scene was talking about this guy's weight and making fun of him because he's fat. And
not Bradley, another.
No, not Bradley, but another guy, Jake McDormand. And I think this is his last name. And so I meet him, and the guy isn't big at all.
At all.
Like, and so now I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so we show up on set. I'm sure they're going to address it and they're going to change it around. And Clint walks up and he's like, you know, okay, we're just going to try one. You know, we're just going to do it. So we go through, and I just take in the nows of the scene, and I realize, okay, this guy isn't. They couldn't get a fat guy. They got a skinny guy. So I'm just gonna, you know, riff on him for being skinny. So I say something, and then they say, okay, that's enough of that, because he doesn't say action. He doesn't say cut.
Yeah, he never says action.
So he comes up and he says, yeah, well, you kind of gotta talk about him being fat. And I said, well, you know, certain, like, no disrespect, but I'm from Missouri, and there's no way this guy is considered fat. Not even in LA, you're gonna call this guy fat. And so they go and they put a little pooch on him. And they said,
skinny guy.
like, we just gotta make this work.
That was available.
So, yeah, so like, we gotta make this work. So we go through it again, and again we have multiple cameras at work, and they say go. So it's me and this guy from Gran Torino, and they're just roving through the crowd of trainees, and we're saying stuff, and you're trying to be aware of the camera, and I realize they've got one following me and they've got one following him, but the guy had a megaphone. The other guy had a megaphone, and I didn't.
The other drill sergeant.
The other drill sergeant. So as we're going through the scene, and they're gonna just let us run, you get a sense of it very early. So we're into like 2-3 minutes, and I feel my camera leave, and it goes to the other guy, and then, you know, the fear kicks in, and I'm like, oh shit, like, I just gotta, like, this is my day on a Clint Eastwood set, and I'm gonna lose. Like, that's all I kept thinking, like, I'm gonna lose. And it's like I'm not here. I'm not here to fucking lose. Mm-hmm. And again, like, I just kind of blanked out and let whatever came out my mouth come out my mouth. Mm-hmm. And I, you know, I think I called upon every drill sergeant from Lou Gossett to, you know, Bill Dale Dye to, you know, boy from Full Metal Jacket, and I'm just going for it, and I'm like screaming and running, and I hear cut, and I closed my eyes and I thought, this is going to be an interesting chapter in the book. The day I got fired off a Clint Eastwood movie. I was like, and I just sat there for a second, and I feel a hand on my shoulder, and I turn around, and Dirty Harry is standing there, and he just kind of bends over. And he's just like the Bill Hader impersonation. Like he's got his pants up here, and he comes up and he looks at me and he says, "What the fuck did you just say?" and I was like, "Sir, I don't. You're gonna have to play it back." I just didn't want to go home. I didn't want to get sent home, man. And for the rest of the day, I mean, he was like, "Man, you said something about fucking Cheetos and Dr. Pepper, and we're getting it all cleared. I don't care how much it costs. We're getting it cleared. We're gonna say it." And then Jason, the writer, came up to me and was like, "Dude, I'm taking credit for everything you said." And I said, "Well, if you get nominated for an Oscar, just thank me." The movie comes out, and they kept it all. And it's basically my reel from the film. It's like all the stuff that I made up. And so this idea of, you're prepared, you're professional, you're ready, but don't turn that screw so tight to where you strip it and there's nothing that can come in and out. You got to continue to be ready to receive whatever's coming at you, and that's the stuff we hope for, no matter where we are, whether it's stage or television or film. And looking back at that chalkboard, it's art, but those moments, those were life moments. It was a real visceral connection, and it really helped me own that because it worked. I'm sure that it's that idea of not being afraid to fail. And so those are three that come back to me, because I think every time I work, I think about those moments at some point. Even today, I mean, I recently just did my first. I was working with. I met Seth Green on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, 1998, 99. And then we recently met up last summer playing a married couple on a comedy.
Seth comes up to here.
And we were just talking about the business. And, he's been doing this since he was a kid. And he was like, "Man, if you're here long enough, you will do everything. You'll do everything." And so I recently had the opportunity to do my first half-hour show.
Multi-camp.
And and I'm 20 years in. And gosh, I'm at 22 or 21 now. But there's still these moments where I feel like that kid that was, that looked 12 years old. And I try to find those opportunities to let life in, be prepared, but let whatever happen. And I hope that's enough for the day. So it's been those things have kept me grounded, kept me thankful, because I mean, I worked 21 hours at a job I hated once. So a set, I've had my head's gone numb because I was close to getting frostbite. I've broken my hand on a set, in a scene. I've been sick on set, but I know what it is to do something that I don't love. So the idea of going through all that in something that I do love is, it keeps you focused, keeps you balanced. So I'm thankful for it.
And we are thankful for your stories. And I couldn't help but hearing something that is very Murphy, and very much about our improvisation work in your stories, which is about sort of embracing. We call it going into the crisis. But it's so interesting to hear that some of these highlight stories are all about you being totally thrown off balance and embracing it and going with it. Finding a way despite like everything else which might shut you down, to go up and go into it and go against it. So
yeah, I mean, it's
affirming.
It is. I mean, I just I don't know if it's, and I don't know if it's, none of these moments there was nothing conscious about it, because I'm a Midwest kid, and we're raised to have a reverence for your elders, and there's a respect that you give, and there's an element of it that almost feels, it's like, if you're looking at it, it may feel like disrespectful, like, who am I to kind of fuck with this guy's writing and try to change, but I think they recognize the difference, and you're staying in it. I think it would have been more disrespectful to say, can we do this again? Can we stop? Then I would have been sent home. I think I would have easily been sent home, but I was happy to have opportunities to, the crises moments are so big with the people that you're dealing with. You just kind of, it wasn't a conscious thing, but you just kind of go for it.
But I think it's something that you keep coming back to too, in addition to going to Leonard's ability to go into the crisis moment, because he's a trained actor.
Absolutely.
Is that, and you said it a couple of times, that Leonard comes to set and to his auditions fully prepared. He knows the script. He knows every word, and Leonard respects every word on a script. Like, because I do a lot of auditions with you, and he is word perfect when he does stuff. So I think it's about, and he does, he's thought about it and he works with it. I mean, Leonard gets scripts to go in for the new series regular, like the lead of a show the night before a thing, and like he stays up all night and he works on it and he does it. And we have a kid and we have to take care of things, and it's not easy, but he puts the time in, and so because he's so prepared and because he knows what's going on, that gives him the grounding to then be able to play and have the courage and the knowledge that I can do anything. And he first respects what's going on. I mean, each of those stories, it wasn't like he went out of the gate and was like, I'm gonna fuck around. it was it was like he did it as he was asked, but then if everybody, you follow what's going on there. So I think it's a combination of that, because I think so often, especially out here, we get into this thing of like, well, just be free, just be crazy, and it's not.
Yeah.
That's not what we do.
No, not here.
Yeah.
I meant out here. Not here at Adler. In LA.
Yeah.
There's this idea of that, or that improvisation's just being crazy and silly.
Or just making it up.
And just making it up.
And
Exactly.
it's not about making it up or trying to be funny or
He
trying
was divining. He wasn't making it up. He was intuiting.
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it's that combo that Leonard always has both going. Yeah.
So let's see if you can help coax some of that out of some of us today.